But what would you expect from the lead writer of such prestigious titles such as My Horse and Me 2 and the celebrated cult classic Horses? Thank you, Jeff Spock. Thank you for your service to humanity. You know what? I'm going to quickly rewrite the story of Heroes 5 into something much more coherent. Originally, there was a joke here.
Everywhere where this man goes, there are horses. Because I'm not kidding you. I had that horse game. I'm a dirty little fence sitter. I know, but I hear there's some good games in Heroes of Might and Magic and some not so good ones, and I want to get a little taste of as many as I can before I decide. Seth is satiating my curiosity yet again with another HOMM game, specifically HOMM5, another installation to the turn-based strategy genre. I've heard 5 is like a better continuation of 3 with more of an upgraded roster? I don't know, you tell me. So before I'm lectured on why this specific video is visible to 221 countries, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it.
Hey people,
Hi,
Seth
Seth.
here. Today, I'll be covering a game from a series that's very special to me. But
It
much
is
like the nice
special.
girl you knew back in high school, she eventually went broke, destitute, and sold herself off to the French. And now, you barely recognize her. I'm talking about Heroes of Might and Magic 5, released in 2006 by Ubisoft. So, what happened? How did we
Ubisoft,
get
indeed.
here? Well, Freedio, who had the license for Might and Magic, went bankrupt. So, Ubisoft bought the license, gave it to Naval, a sweatshop developer located in the Siberian gulags, and asked them to make a game as quickly as possible with no regard for human life. And since Slavs are trained from birth to play Heroes 3 on a competitive level, the developers were a good choice for developing a successor to the series. Unfortunately, the demands of a sweatshop took their toll, and by the end of it, most of the development staff were either dead or missing. The lead programmer got mauled by a bear while picking berries in the forest. 2 of the artistic leads fell down a well and kept falling, and the designer got kidnapped by a gargoyle. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, this is entirely true. I even wrote an entire wiki article to prove it. Despite such hardships, Naval did manage to make a beautiful and pretty interesting game. Let's begin. Story. Heroes 5 takes place in the world.
So, did this one actually have that rough of a development? It sounds like it had a pretty rough development. Maybe not, you know, getting lost in the woods or eaten by a bear, but I mean, typically when you're sold to Ubisoft, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And pretty interesting game. Let's begin. Story. Heroes 5 takes place in the world of Ashan, which has no connection to Heroes 3, 4, or the rest of the Might and Magic franchise, because we get a much more interesting and non-generic setting instead. Here's a quick rundown of this compelling story. Ashan is under attack by demons. Your husband, the king, is killed by demons. You are now queen.
Demons.
You resurrect your dead husband. Then you kill your undead husband. You get kidnapped by demons, then everyone kills the demons, and everyone lives happily ever after in the Pony Kingdom of Equestria. Friendship is magic. You might think I'm lying about that last part. Guess what? I'm not.
You're
what
not?
an engaging.
He's not? Is he actually? No fluffing way. I don't believe you. What'd you pause the screen on? What kind of wiki
I'm lying
article?
about that last part. Guess what? I'm.
Isabel, tired of the events, then passes the crown to Freyda, proclaiming the end of the Griffin Empire and beginning... Oh. You know what? Maybe I'll like this game. You know, maybe I'll like this game. What do you mean? Are you throwing shade at My Little Pony? I can't believe you, but also that is an odd thing to have as a plot line. Why unicorns? Why unicorns? The griffins are pretty strong, man. I don't know. Freyda. Weird. Isabel, you made a weird decision. Is she just tired of it all? She killed her husband multiple times, so I don't blame her.
Equestria, friendship is magic. You might think I'm lying about that last part. Guess
No,
what?
you're telling
I'm
the
not.
truth,
What an
I think.
engaging, engrossing plot. But what would you expect from the lead writer of such prestigious titles such as My Horse and Me 2 and the celebrated cult classic Horses? Thank you, Jeff Spock. Thank you for your service to humanity. You know what? I'm gonna quickly rewrite the story of Heroes 5 into something much more coherent. Originally, there was a joke here.
Everywhere where this man goes, there are horses. Because I'm not kidding you. I had that horse game. Thank you, Spock, for inserting your horses into the Heroes of Might and Magic. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for your service to humanity. You know what? I'm gonna quickly rewrite the story of Heroes 5 into something much more coherent.
Really?
Originally, there was a joke here. I thought it was funny enough to justify getting demonetized by 4Kids. Most people would stop
my
there,
face
take my money,
broke.
and go home.
The joke was so bad, it broke my face. What did you do, Seth? What did you do?
Originally, there was a joke here. I thought it was funny enough to justify getting demonetized by 4Kids. Most people would stop there, take my money, and go home. But in their infinite wisdom, 4K Media Incorporated, which by the way is owned by Konami, decided to block the video in several small countries.
That's a lot of
this won't affect
countries.
most of the audience, since most of our views come from Afghanistan, but it felt unfair to the 5 or 6 people who might be watching from Africa, America, Europe, or the Middle East, which really are just tiny continents in comparison.
Small.
I have only respect and admiration for the galaxy brain decision to not only copyright claim my video so you can make money off it, but to also block my video so you can't make any money off it. Dear 4K Media Incorporated, I'm not even mad. I'm just very confused. Shout out to my boys in Pyongyang who can still see this video in 2020. Gameplay.
Really?
Everything is turn-based. Pick a map, pick a faction, pick a
Must
hero,
be
and play.
nice.
Unlike
Does anyone know what he originally said? Because obviously this is a re-upload. So, is there any recording? Like written or physical or digital, whatever you want to call it, of what he said. I really want to know. Because how do you offend Konami that badly? What did you do? That is an accomplishment. He should wear that as a Medal of Honor. His original joke in his original video got him blocked. Absolute perfection. Seth.
everything is turn-based. Pick a map, pick a faction, pick a hero, and play. Unlike Heroes 3, your heroes can now attack monsters directly. But unlike Heroes 4, they can't be murdered on the battlefield. And they get a crazy, over-the-top skill wheel progression system as they level up, which is never explained inside the game, and you have to use third-party fan software to even know the existence of such a thing. Oh yeah, and you no longer have to micromanage every single neutral dwelling in town. You can now send caravans to the town of your choice and just pick up your troops later. It's very self-explanatory. There's 8 different factions to play, 6 in the base game, plus Fortress and Stronghold from the expansions. Everybody gets a massively scaled town, which spits out units for them each week. Every town also gets an amazing orchestral theme song, except Stronghold. Each time I reinstall the game, I have to realize this all over again. Stronghold's music sounds like some royalty-free ambient background noise. It sounds like elevator music in a fantasy-themed 2-star hotel. So each time I have to go into my music folders and replace it with something more appropriate.
Ram Ranch.
Cowboys love big driving cocks.
That's a lot better.
As you may have noticed, the town camera pans around on its own. It's actually one of my favorite things in this game, especially since the camera tracking syncs up with the music. But I'll show that off at the end. Every faction gets 7 units from Tier 1 to Tier 7, all of which can be upgraded. Tribes of the East adds side grades too, which means there's now 2 upgrades to choose from. Most of these range from interesting to what flavor flavor of energy drink do you want your units to look like? Let's talk about the factions.
Pink.
Haven. These are the humans. They're very standard, very European, and generally
Very.
quite solid. Some might think the strongest unit in the Haven arsenal is the Angel. However, that's
Well-
completely fucking wrong. Yes,
Really?
a celestial being sent to enact the will of God is pretty good. But, can she pay taxes? I don't think so.
Probably
no,
not.
The strongest unit under Haven's direct command is the humble peasant. The real heroes of Might and
Really?
Magic are taxpayers. They contribute their monthly wages to provide you with security.
Okay, wait, he has a point. They contribute. I get it. There's also an army of them as opposed to the singular one. I get it. But how dare you? That didn't even go. I was like, maybe he's saying maybe the king is stronger or the apothecary or something like that. No, straight to the source, the people. They will uphold the city.
Might and Magic are taxpayers. They contribute their monthly wages
We
to provide
do.
you with security, social services, and of course, roads. Without peasants, we wouldn't have much of a country. Yes,
No, we
it's
wouldn't.
only 1 gold per peasant per day. But if you let them survive plague, famines, and high infant mortality rates,
It's a
you'll
lot
win
of-
the game economically. Because wars aren't
Good.
decided by swords. They're decided by whoever has the most money. And that's
Exactly.
a fact. God bless the unwashed masses for
Bless.
sustaining the
Treat them
military-industrial
well.
complex of the Griffin Empire. Stronghold. They've got orcs, centaurs, wyverns, and women. They also get
women.
a cyclops, eventually. Unfortunately, they also have...
I think I like this one. I like this faction so far. I see women. I did see women in another faction. They look like pixies or maybe druids. Yes, I like those too. Can we just have like a women only faction? You know how discombobulated that would be? I'm kidding. I'm sorry. That's mean. I didn't
Wyverns
mean
and
it.
women. They also get a cyclops, eventually. Unfortunately, they also have goblins. I have mixed feelings about these little shits. To
I
help you
do.
understand, let me read you one of their abilities, Treachery. When the number of these creatures falls below 30% of their original numbers, they change sides. Luckily, the rest of the faction more or less
I don't think I
acknowledges
like
that
them.
goblins are subhuman trash, which is great
Yeah.
since you can
Kill
sacrifice
them.
them directly to your shaman girls, use them as a tasty snack, or even as improvised living ammunition for your cyclops. It's an okay
have a
faction, a bit
use.
barren, and of course their music is terrible, but that's okay because I replaced all the stronghold music.
28 U.S. Marines pulling up in black Ford Raptor trucks. Helicopters landing.
What is wrong with you, Seth?
Ram Ranch is under siege.
More Ram
Under
Rants.
lockdown. U.S. Marines are gonna fuck Ram Ranch cowboy butts.
They
Much more
are.
immersive, I think you'll agree. Academy are the wizards. Their city is essentially just Dubai,
Ooh.
except in the sky,
In the sky.
floating at an altitude just high enough to be legally recognized as an independent state. As
So is
such,
it like
academies
Olympus?
are regarded as offshore.
I mean, that's high enough for me to believe that's Olympus. You know, that looks very Roman god, Greek god type thing going on here. But they're wizards. You know what? That makes sense. Are there women? Are there women?
Just Dubai,
That's the next
except in the
question.
sky, floating at an altitude just high enough to be legally recognized as an independent state. As such, academies are regarded as offshore tax havens. What do they do with all this money? Well, they do what everyone with infinite
Use
power
it.
and knowledge of the arcane does. They summon catgirls and construct tin cans to
Ooh.
murder anybody they don't like. They're
I like
great
that.
to play, and they've got amazing visuals. It's like a fusion of Indian and Arabic aesthetics. I love it. Sylvans are
That
furries,
does look nice.
sodomites, and probably zoophiles. Critics are rather divided on this town. On the one hand, it's
It
objectively
went
the
from very quickly. You know what? The lady looked pretty, but the label is not. So let's just not. Why'd you do this, Seth? You probably maybe ruined something nice for me. I do like the wizards Academy is what he called them, I believe. I like them so far the most, actually, unironically. Not because of the cat girls, but because I like magic.
Zoophiles critics are rather divided on this town. On the one hand, it's objectively the best choice to upgrade your Applejacks into Fluttershy. Yes, many might be blindsided by Princess Celestia's better synergy with light magic. Personally, I don't care. They do have really nice music though. Dungeon are furries, sodomites, and definitely zoophiles. If you like femdom, BDSM, or matriarchy, you'll feel right at home in the dungeon. They're fun to play. My only criticism is that it's kind of hard to tell if your units are upgraded or not, since the only difference between a normal Dark Elf and the upgraded version is whether or not they have this Queen of Spades tattoo on their backside. I don't know what that's about. Necropolis gets skeleton.
Seth, you've all people not knowing what that's about. I smell BS. Even I have a feeling I know what that's about. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure it's very hard to look for that tattoo. Very, very difficult. But I do like the Dark Elf design. They did the Dark Elves really well. I like the Dark Elves. But I don't know if I like the BDSM attachment. Maybe that's just me.
Tattoo on their backside. I don't know what that's about.
You
Necropolis gets skeletons, spelly skellies, and big bone skellies. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but each time I play Necropolis, I do get a very strong, inexplicable craving to consume monster energy. As expected, they can raise the dead. Originally, after sitting around in their castle and smacking the end turn button for a few months, Necropolis would automatically win. Of course, this was incredibly fun, and since the heroes community hates fun, it was nerfed into the ground. You now need gamer juice to raise the dead, a limited resource that only replenishes at the start of each week. Fortress.
Why did you ruin it? Why do you hate fun? Don't complain about it. Use it to your advantage. It's fun. Have fun. That's what games are for. I guess it's not so fun when you're on the receiving end, but why be on the receiving end when you have the choice of joining the dark side? Crack open a monster. If you don't want to crack open a monster, make yourself a gamer subs with code SID.
Raise the dead, a limited resource that only replenishes at the start of each week. Fortress is the manlet faction, which might not sound very intimidating, but they also get runes, which allow the dwarves to, among other things, cover the entire length of the battlefield, resurrect their dead stacks, and temporarily become a ghost. If that wasn't enough, 3 of their strongest units might also be completely immune to Armageddon. And based off what you've just heard, yes, they are incredibly balanced. Inferno can do this. They can also do this. They're red, they're demons, they can summon more demons. They all look the same, and they're extremely boring to play. But wait, that's not all. This is a good time to mention that every faction gets a special, racially exclusive ability. Academy gets body modification. Sylvans are good at poaching. Dungeon benefits from bestiality. Dwarves get runes. Stronghold gets angry. Haven can turn living units into better units. Necropolis can turn living units into undead units. But Inferno has the most powerful and strategically significant of all. Inferno can turn living units into dead units. Now that is a...
Yeah, that's cracked. Yeah, that's a little too far. Everyone else gets upgrades and you can just straight up decimate them, burn them alive. What? What do you mean? Perfectly balanced as all things should be. What is the counter to that? Runes? How do you counter this? This is a bit OP. Just a little bit. A lot of it. That's a lot.
Inferno can turn living units into dead units.
Why
Now
would you do
that
that?
is amazing design. So while other brainlet factions are focused on pressing the advantage, adapting to the enemy, and increasing their forces, the Galaxy Brain Inferno player spends all of his money on troops only to sacrifice them so he can level up once or twice. His
He's
objective
killing his
completed.
own. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's my bad. He's killing his own for himself. How self-serving. Okay, well, now it's not cracked. It's just sad. Why would you play as that faction? Give me one good reason why you would play as this specific faction. Like, I get it, your hero is not allowed to die on the battlefield, so you could work on making yourself insanely OP, but what's the fun in that? I have a hard time seeing it. 5 seconds ago, I thought this was like really cracked. Now I'm just like, nah, never mind. That's not cracked at all. There is no advantage.
Only to
How
sacrifice
creative.
them so he can level up once or twice. His objective completed. His goals met. He hits Alt F4 and ejects himself from the multiplayer match. And that's why Inferno is the most powerful faction, because its players can't be reasoned with. They're nihilists with motives above human understanding. Combat plays out like the previous titles, except there are some changes. One, everyone has gained weight. Since Heroes 3 and 4, the battlefield is no longer hexagonal. It is now quadragonal. Yes, everything and everyone is a square now. It's easier to body block, but it's...
I've learned, by the way. So the games that I played, which names I can't remember, so I apologize for those who may ask. Games that I have played that have hexagons instead of squares, the hexagons functioned just like the squares. I know this is weird to hear, but it was literally just a stylistic choice. That's why in the last video, I was like, why hexagons? And everyone was like, because hexagons are the bestagons. I still don't know what that is. I'll probably watch it later in my free time. But they didn't have a purpose in the game that I played them in. So I was like, they work the same way as squares. So what's the point? Might as well just stick with the square grid. After reading all the comments explaining that in Heroes of Might and Magic, there is a purpose to the hexagons, I understand. There's a bit more to do with it. So, I will end this with, I need to play hexagons as they're intended to be played. But I do really like the squares. Maybe it's just because I like Fire Emblem. Maybe it's just like because I really love the Fire Emblem series. It's like, yeah, no, I like squares. I don't know. I have yet to experience actual hexagon gameplay. I'm very sorry to disappoint. I'm very sad that I haven't either, okay? So I'm sorry to me too.
Yes, everything and everyone is a square now. It's easier to body block, but it's also easier to get completely blocked out of a fight, depending on the unfortunate geometry of twigs and small stones in your path. 2, there's now 2 things that determine how quickly you move.
You're not allowed to destroy
and
those?
Initiative. Speed is how far your units can move. Initiative is how quickly they decide to do something. 3, I have no idea what they did with the spells. Sure, there's destructive magic, which still includes the classic nuclear option, and there's vampirism, which, by the way, is really funny to put in a vampire. But what about the rest? Haste doesn't actually make you quicker. Slow doesn't actually make you slow. They just make you act quicker or slower, respectively. Hello? What happened to my goddamn magic? But I'm willing to forgive all that because...
It's just like, magic is not magicking. What happened? You know what? I'd be a little upset too if like you're not actually moving slower. It's just the turn that which you're being, you know, bumped down a little bit. It kind of removes the purpose. I guess unless you want the advantage of going first, it sort of removes the purpose of moving slowly. I would assume that slowness, you cast it, it makes you move forward 1 space instead of the maybe 2 that you can make or 3 that you can make. You know what I mean? 2 paces less kind of deal, not just, oh, you gotta wait one extra turn and you're just sitting there like, I'm fully healed. I'm ready for you. I'll get you, even if I'm slowed. The frustration is tangible, Seth. I'm slowly getting there too.
Wait, hello? What happened to my goddamn magic? But no! I'm willing to forgive all that because Heroes 5 added the best goddamn spell in the game. Probably the best spell in the entire Heroes series. Summon Beehive. I love this spell so much, I even made my own campaign around it. It's called Beekeeper. It's a piece of shit. Don't actually play it. If you kill the last monster, you win the game, but I made it so that about 1,000 text boxes will pop up when you do, which consist of the entire B-movie script. Multiplayer is dead. Ubisoft doesn't maintain anything, but you can still use virtual LAN to play with friends. There's simultaneous turns to make normal games faster and a dual option for instant combat.
I'm so sorry that multiplayer is just not. But I must ask, because this is an older video, is the multiplayer any better? Have they given this game any love at all? Because it looks like it's an okay game. And from what I've read briefly, very briefly before the video, people seem to, kind of like it. It wasn't too bad. So, has there been some love? I hate to watch a series die just because Ubisoft buys it. And I really don't want that to be the thing that happens to a lot of games. Everyone wants to see a good series put into good hands and treated well. But, yeah. I don't know, man. I really hope it has been cared for. And I'm so sorry that Ubisoft has its hands on it now.
Simultaneous turns to make normal games faster, and a dual option for instant combat. So most of the time, you're going to be up against the AI, which is AI in name alone. Computer players may be artificial, but they're definitely not intelligent. But that doesn't mean they don't have chess master level programming behind them. The AI takes about 10 seconds of raw processing power each turn to carry out their master plan of leaving their base undefended when your army is right at their doorstep. This only gets worse with more AI, because each one must independently take 10 seconds of your lifespan to calculate their next move. It actually got so ridiculous that I had to use Cheat Engine to speed hack the game about 5-6 times. What a convoluted solution, Seth. Why didn't you just Alt-Tab and do something else? Well, because Alt-Tabbing makes this game freeze. That's right. Heroes 5 pauses itself, so you don't have to miss a second of watching that turn timer fill up. For that reason, I recommend trying Heroes 5.5, a mod that drastically rewrites the AI to be more intelligent and to take turns lightning fast. By the way, the base game hates my graphics card, so if your game looks like this, then I also recommend Heroes 5.5. Finally, there's a map editor included with this game. You can make some pretty good maps with it. Mainly, however, I use it to make trash like this. Final score. I've received a lot of feedback that my review scores are poorly defined and hardly objective. Let's fix that up right now. The final score will be composed of a single industry standard metric by which all games are professionally judged. The main menu. I'm going to be assessing these per expansion. Base game, very solid, very cool anime fight sequence, 10 out of 10. Hammers of Fate, just some dark elves trying and failing to illegally cross the border, 5 out of 10. Tribes of the East, an amazing high impact sequence where a Cyclops lays siege to a castle, whacking and smacking every human in his path. But just then, a crossbowman bravely runs out and shoots the Cyclops. Now, I'm gonna ask the audience, what do you think he does next? Logically, there's only two options. He can A, chill at the back, reload, and take a second shot in relative safety. Or B, he can charge the Cyclops with a butter knife. If you voted B, good news, you're correct. Our brave warrior follows the most reasonable course of action and charges the Cyclops. Let's see how well he does. He didn't fly so good. 0 out of 10. Based on these scores, I conclusively give Heroes 5 a out of 10. Heroes 5 is a fantastic addition to the series and probably the last good game it will ever have, since I'm fully convinced that Heroes 6 and 7 don't actually exist. I'm just having a bad dream, one that I can't seem to wake up from. The big question is it as good as Heroes 3? Probably not, but it's a solid game in its own right and does justice to the source material.
I love that even Seth has like a please don't hurt me. Because that's me sometimes, because I can be very opinionated on things and stuff just in general, and sometimes that gets me in trouble. So I try, because I'm also a people pleaser. It's a terrible mix, I know. I'm a heavily opinionated people pleaser. Make that make sense. So I'm going to like piggyback off of Seth's own please don't hurt me with a please don't hurt me. I feel like this game doesn't look that bad. If anything, it's kind of okay. That's just my opinion, though. It's okay.
Up from. The big question is it as good as Heroes 3? Probably not, but it's a solid game in its own right and does justice to the source material. And if you don't believe me, believe the genuine words of other reviewers, such as Stephanie here, who wrote, "Love, 5 stars. My neighbor's mother-in-law makes $61 every hour on the internet. She has been without a job for 7 months, but last month her pay was $14,324 just working on the internet for a few hours. Read this post here. Equal, and GT semicolon, who are definitely real people and not spam bots trying to take your money. I recommend buying the whole collection on GOG, since unlike the Uplay copy, it comes with a full soundtrack and no DRM. Plus, it ensures that less of your money is going towards Ubisoft, who massacred my favorite series, turned it into someone's deviant art gallery, and turned me into a bitter shell of my former self. As always, more content to come next year. We're done for now, but not entirely. Earlier, I concluded my streaming contract with DLive, and as a man of my word, I went back to the merchants and asked them to vote on what kind of smut would you like commissioned. Our budget, about $1,200. Here are the results of democracy. You can find them on my site and spread across the less reputable dens of evil. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. Please enjoy your Christmas, Hanukkah, and have a happy new year. Stay warm, stay cozy, and have a good one. Roll the credits.
Thank you, Seth. A paid product of the Merchants Guild. This man is so cultured. I love him. He actually does it. He really does. He commissions all that art. I can't believe it. Oh my god. I don't like the sound. Ooh. I don't like that soundtrack either. It's okay for 3 seconds. My ears are being violated. Oh. Too much clack clack. Take away the bells. It'll be fine. Sensory overload. This one isn't that bad. I'm waiting for the bad. That's not terrible. That one's not that bad either. Okay. I see what you're saying, Seth. I get it. I get it. Yeah. That's a lot of names. Holy crap. Thank you, fellows of the Merchant Guild. Holy crap. I don't know if this one fits it. Oh, needs more harps. Sounds like they're going to worm. This one doesn't fit. They're Arcadians. They're wizards. Why does it sound like they're playing the trumpets of war? They need like more of like a magical feeling, like you're in the sky, you're floating, you need harp. Oh my god. It's still beautifully composed. It just doesn't fit this atmosphere. That's all. I'm not saying the sound isn't good. I'm just saying it doesn't fit the atmosphere I expected for magical beings and wizards. Yeah. I'm sorry. As a violinist and pianist, you have to keep in mind how long are you willing to sit in the song, you know what I mean? In this specific spot. If you were here for 10 minutes, is this something you want to listen to for 10 minutes? That wasn't terrible. Oh. I feel like the singing would get old very quick, but it is good. Now watch me find out that these aren't the actual songs in the game. That'd be terrible. I would feel horrible. Beautiful composition. Good. Thank you, Seth. Thank you for tuning in to another Neko Reacts. So, what's your verdict? Did you enjoy 5? What are the good? And what's some of the bad? What's something you would change about it, if you could? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, please leave a like, subscribe to the universe, and I'll see you in the next one. Matanya! Bye!